God knows our weakness.
Yes, he does.
Right? And Paul was aware of our human frailty. He certainly was aware of his own human frailty. That's what we talked about in Romans 6 and 7. Right? So we're tested so often as we persevere, eagerly waiting. So he continued on, writing in Romans 8:26. In the same way, the Spirit also helps our weakness. For we do not know how to pray as we should, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. We don't know how to pray as we should. There are examples through Scripture of good prayer. Right? Jesus, in the Sermon on the Mount, he said, when you pray, pray then in this way. Our Father who art in heaven. There's an example of good prayer. Go study that. Right? There are examples of bad prayer from good people. I'm going to give you a really bad prayer from really good people. And there arose a fierce gale of wind, and the waves were breaking over the boat so much that the boat was already filling up. Jesus himself was in the stern, asleep on the cushion. And they woke him. This is the apostles. And they woke him and said to him, Teacher, do you not care that we're perishing? Is that prayer?
Yes, it is.
Of course it is. What is prayer? Prayer is conversation with the Lord.
That's right.
They're crying out, hey, we're dying here. Don't you care? That's bad prayer. He said to them, oh, you of little faith.
Trust me.
There's good examples of no need for prayer. Now, I say that cautiously and judiciously, yes, because it says pray without ceasing. All right? But there is prayer that is just deep within our hearts. Think of this. After Paul was on his way to Rome, yes, and he was shipwrecked, yes, and lands on the island of Malta, yes, it says, when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, a viper came out because of the heat and fastened itself onto his hand. When the natives saw the creature hanging from his hand, they began saying to one another, undoubtedly this man is a murderer, and though he has been saved from the sea, justice has not allowed him to live. However, he shook the creature off into the fire and suffered no harm. Hallelujah. Acts 28, 3 and 5. So you got to get this picture now, right? Paul, he's been in this shipwreck, this terrible, terrible shipwreck that God saved him from because God is faithful to watch over him, as he said, right? But now he lands on Malta, and they're building a fire, and it says a viper. That's a poisonous snake. Yes,
they knew it was
and the local people knew the snake because they expected Paul, go read this thing. Yeah. They expected him to drop dead on the spot.
That's right.
So what did he do? He had a Pentecostal pity party and he called all his friends. He got on his iPhone and called back. Pray. He didn't do that. Why didn't he do that?
Because he knew. Because
he had an assurance of what God had spoken had to come to pass. And God said he would stand before Caesar.
That's right.
So there's a time when prayer can be basically, well, you know what I mean? Prayer can be wonderful. Should be wonderful.
Talking with the Lord should be wonderful.
Or prayer can be gossip.
Yes, it can.
I've walked into prayer meetings, and boy, I'll tell you what, it was the biggest gossip session you ever heard. Oh, we need to be praying for Mary. Did you see what she did last night? That should have got a laugh. Okay. Some of our prayer is instructing God on how to run the show.
Yes.
We're not just telling him, what we need. We're telling him how to deal with the situation.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, God, here's what you got to do. Think about that. Think about this, because a lot of our prayer is actually instructing God on what to do and how to do it. Oftentimes, our prayer, like the apostles in the boat, is a proclamation of our unbelief.
Right. Absolutely.
We need to think about this. Prayer, what it's saying, what Paul's going to go on and say, we don't know how to pray as we should, right? So this is an example. We don't know how to pray we should. We need to be instructed. We need to be taught. We need to learn from God.